Welcome to Rise Up and Fix It, podcast dedicated to empowering women.
A podcast that empowers women and the marginalized community by helping them tap into their creativity.
I'm the writer of the book, The Secrets of Becoming a Boss Bitch with a Heart of Gold. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and producer. People know me as Ms. Monday. My co-host is Ina Koropkina. She's an actress whose work you might know from films such as Dawn of the Dead and Transformers. She's also the founder and the creative director of Jewel Branding Studios.
We have combined our talents and ideas to share tips and techniques on how our listeners can change life for good.
Welcome to our podcast. In today's episode, we want to define creativity. What exactly does it mean to be creative? And how can you thrive in your creativity? Podcast number 1. So, Ina, why don't we start today with a few simple questions for our listeners? First, I know we both feel that creativity can really only happen in the present moment. Conflict and resolution can only be resolved with creativity. So with that in mind, let's define creativity to our listeners. How do you thrive when you're in the present moment? What exactly is creativity? And how would you describe it, Ina?
Wow, it's a big question. It's a lifestyle. Yeah. It's a way of living. Mm-hmm. Because every moment can call for creativity, a way of solving an issue, a way of dealing with the situation in a new way. Mm-hmm. Because you're creating that moment. And if you are responding from a habitual pattern, that's not being creative. And so that's what I find so exciting about being an artist, and why I feel like if everybody tapped into a part of themselves that's creative, they might have a regular job, 9-to-5 job, but there's this hobby on the side that is exploring, allowing them to explore their humanity. I think this world would be a better place because it trains us to be in the moment.
The thing is when you're creative, you are in the moment. You are in joy, you are happy, you are in the state of flow. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that not a lot of people get in that state of flow. They don't even know how to because they're doing a job that they don't like, giving up on themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, you go do that because when you are creating from your heart, you feel alive and you really are living in the moment.
That's right. Yeah. I want to bring an example. I had a friend in my early 20s who's an incredibly successful CPA. She was working 9-to-5 every day, just in front of the computer, calculating, running numbers, but she always wanted to be a painter. She came from an Italian family and they had a very strict idea of what a successful person is. And so she wasn't allowed to tap into her creativity and be a painter. And she always missed it. So when she finally became super successful and could afford the paints and the time and the classes, she had a really hard time coming to the canvas and starting to paint because there's so much uncertainty and so much unknown by showing up at the canvas. You're looking at a blank canvas and you don't know where to start. You don't know where you're going. You're looking down into the void, into the darkness. And mm-hmm. It is nerve-wracking. It's scary. And so just being there and trusting that something will speak through you, an inspiration will come in the moment. That's the hardest part of being an artist, mm-hmm. the trust.
Totally.
It's the unknown you're dealing with. You don't know if you're going to sell that project. You don't know where the next scene is going to take you in the script, but you just show up and you write. You show up and you pitch. You show up, you create.
I think that when people say, I want to be creative, they think, I just want to be a painter or an actor or
I want to be an artist. I want to be an actor or a photographer. The creativity doesn't only involve those professions. Yes.
Right? Like you can bring creativity to being a parent.
Because your kid is constantly bringing new set of issues. They're growing, they're changing. And so you have to use creativity in raising them. Mm-hmm. Even down to like how I'm going to get them to eat their vegetables, like hiding them and all that. Mm-hmm. being an entrepreneur is incredibly creative because listen, working minimum wage, hourly wage is not going to get you far. You got to get creative with making money. So there's so many different ways that creativity can benefit your life.
I also think creativity and the creative process is kind of like this stepping stone. It's like you're basically stepping into the void, getting uncomfortable and trusting that everything will work out fine. Yes. Have you ever experienced something like that?
So the best example I can give from my own personal life, and the first time I actually had an experience of where I was creating from a place of the unknown, was in my early 20s. I was in theater school in New York, Circle in the Square, and I was in an improv class. And so my teacher gave me this exercise to go up on stage in front of all the students and improvise, play the queen. And my partner was, I don't remember the details. All I know is a lot of my teachers had me do exercises and scenes and improv that centered around being assertive and bossy. It's something that I needed to work on as an actress. It's not something that I was encouraged to be as a child. And so my teachers always encouraged me to explore that in my scene work. So anyway, long story short, I go up on stage. He gives me this exercise to play the queen. And before I go on stage, I vividly remember making a list in my head. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this. So I go on stage, and the improv goes for a couple of minutes, and I'm improvising, and I'm going through my list of things that I was going to do. And I finally run out of all the things I thought I was going to do. And I'm standing there so vulnerable and in such a place of the unknown. I don't know what I'm supposed to say next or do next. I'm looking at my scene partner who I'm improvising with, and something comes up, and then I'm lost again. And I stop the improv and I look at the class and the teacher like, well, I don't know what to do next. And they got so upset with me. The whole class erupted. They're like, why did you stop? It was just getting interesting. And so that was the moment, the aha moment that came to me in my acting class, where the most interesting performances come from the place of the unknown. I stopped trusting. The reason they got upset with me is because I didn't allow myself to trust and stay in the moment and continue responding and improvising from a point of vulnerability. I froze up. And so that's the experience that I wanted to share.
When you have so much pressure on you as an actor, like, you know, there's an audience. For our listeners, even the most amazing actors like Ina, can go through those moments where you're, all of a sudden, you freeze, you tense, you question, you wonder if you're on the right path.
You're judging yourself. Yeah. And I just want to add that it's a lifelong journey. I'm still attempting to create from that place. That was my first taste of it. And it's been a journey of pushing myself with every scene that I explore, every class that I take, every audition that I get, to force myself to trust and create from that place of vulnerability and the unknown. I have not by far arrived. I don't live my life in constant awareness and constantly creating from that place of vulnerability and being present, but it is my aim in life. And I use my creativity and the things that I do as an artist to help me get there.
Like, my fear was writing and public speaking. And look at me, and I'm on a podcast now, and
You wrote a book?
I wrote a book. So it's so funny because I used to say to myself all the time, I'm a horrible writer. That was my mantra. I would walk around and I would always say it to people. And then I decided to change that mantra. I realized, like, I am telling everyone I'm a horrible writer, but all I want to do is write a book. So it's weird. So I'm like, I'm going to get darn good at writing. I'm going to read a lot. I'm going to work at my skill, and I'm going to improve every day. I had this fear that I would write something and then it would be criticized. But when I wrote my book, I kept saying, well, I'm going to hire a few editors to go through it. So I'm going to find someone that's a professional that's going to correct it and make it perfect so I can release it to the world. And I did.
Yeah, and it's an amazing book. I read it. I highly recommend it. It is so inspiring. I'm going to get my daughter to read it. I feel like every single young lady and even older women should read it to come into their power. So good for you. There's some beautiful lessons in there that are, really made an impact on me.
It wasn't easy. I'm going to say that, but I did it.
Yeah, girl.
So thank you for reading it, Ina. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
It's such a great reward when you put your mind to something and your creativity brings you to great heights.
That's right.
If you can find that thing that sparks your interest and then take action on it, that is where the gold is, really. Not knowing the outcome is when you really feel the experience and that creative magic. Making things work is really is such an awesome thing. If more of us were able to understand the creative process and understand the magic behind it, that is where life gets fun. So like today, you're saying you walked here and you're walking here and you had all those, you're working on your features. So listeners, Ina is working on a feature film, which we're really excited about because
I'm in the process of writing one, yes.
And obviously through the creative writing process, there's times where you have blockages and you need some time to think about the storyline, right? And you said on the way here, you had an idea and you're working through it and it popped into your mind, right? So that does happen through the creative process. That is what we're talking about here, guys. But what is this force within you that drives you into this direction? So I think our listeners would benefit if we broke down the creative process into a few stages.
Yeah.
First, you need to identify the problem. Maybe it's how you'll act on stage. Maybe it's how you will achieve your dream. But instead of just thinking you're being creative, think of it more like you're entering the creative process. And your body is helping you achieve your goal, your desire, your wish, helping you find a solution to your problem. And if you spend a lot of time researching and understanding and getting a clear picture of what you want, you can use this technique really through every avenue in life. Now, after you've got all this amazing information, the second stage is releasing it to the world. So it's just now you have this strong understanding and the desire, an idea, and you have information around it, and you're ready to release it to the world. This is when you let your subconscious mind take over. So there's a saying that you sleep on it, and it's that idea of like having this passion, and you're so passionate about it that you go to bed at night and you dream about it. You think about it. It's running through you constantly because it's something that's on your mind. The third stage is the why moment. It's the classic aha moment. It's that time, like you said today, you're walking and all of a sudden that idea, that spark comes to you, right? It's the universe now or the world answering your questions that come to you, right?
Yes.
Or it's like, how am I going to finish that scene in that script, right? Like, or that's when it comes to you. And then the fourth stage is the feedback stage. This is the stage when you have the aha moment, you have the idea, you have the vision, and now you release it and you speak and you get feedback. You go to your peers, you go to your family, you go to people you trust, you go to your mentors, and you tell them what you're working on or what your dreams and desires are. And then the final stage is the action stage. Feel confident, you have the clarity, and you're ready to take action. This is the stage when the magic starts coming to you. You are in the action mode and the world is responding and sending you all the beauty to make that magic happen. The thing is it takes those stages to get to that magic. And if you fall off the bandwagon, you get the feedback and you don't like the feedback and you start losing the spark, the flame dies. If you can pursue that to the end and see it to the completion stage, the final stage, that's when the magic is so powerful and everything starts coming together like magic. And I know I keep saying magic, and for some listeners, this might not resonate or this word might not resonate with you, but really it does feel like magic when it happens. But I want to mention something. It is really important that you stay focused on the final picture, the big picture, the dream. if you lose focus, the dream and the flame dies.
Absolutely.
This is so important, because if you stop and you switch gears and you start putting fuel into a new project, that energy will die if you change direction or start thinking of something else or start putting all your energy into something else.
Totally.
You know?
Okay, so before we started this podcast, we met earlier today and we sent something we've been working on for the last almost a year now. We've been developing it. So we went through all the stages. We had the aha moment. We had the working our butts off for nights and days and sleep, editing and writing. We've pitched it. Yeah. We've shared it with all these production companies, many of who said, oh, we're working on something so similar. Thank you for your time. So today, finally, we sent it to one more production company. So this is the stage where the magic is supposed to happen. Is this what you're saying?
It's the feedback stage, right? But also the feedback stage is the stage where we were talking to like our partners and with our friends and our and our family and, you know, people in the industry. That also is part of the feedback stage, right? Now that we sent it out to these production companies, that's also action. So you're taking incentive, right? It's not just talk. You know, there's that saying, like, there's so many talkers out there. They usually are just at that feedback stage maybe, and they're not taking the step to make it happen.
So what's the next step for us?
The next step is just doing small little steps towards completing the goal. So the action stage is you start and then you figure out what you need to complete. You complete it, you move on, you complete it, you move on. Like we're at that stage right now where we're talking production companies. We're waiting for that partner to come in. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to be putting out the thought to the universe that the universe is we're going to sleep on it. The universe is going to respond. It's going to give us a new direction, and then we're going to keep working towards the action until it's manifested.
So what we're coming to realize as two creatives, as resilience is incredibly important. You just keep on going. You never give up. Yep. And part of creativity is being open to what's coming at you and responding.
Usually, if you don't feel the burning desire after the first, second, third stage, kind of is validation to the point that you just don't care about it. And
that's right.
But if you actually are still obsessed and you're going through the creative process of all these stages, you will feel empowered and you will want to pursue your dream. Every successful individual has gone through this at one stage in their creative path. Okay, so let me give you guys an example. Say you want to get fit. Say you're on a mission to get super healthy and super fit. If you think about it, every day, and you wake up every morning and you work out, you go to the gym, you eat healthy, you get a trainer, whatever it is that is your path to get fit, and you continue every day on that journey, you will see amazing results. You'll be focused on it, you'll be obsessed about it, and you'll be focusing day in and day out on that goal. But if you have this goal, and it's to get super fit, but you go to the gym and then you take 5 days off. You don't really eat healthy for 3 days. You focus on something else, and you're flipping back and forth like a multitasker. Like you're working on one project, you're working on another. You're not really focused on one thing. You won't see the same results than someone who is focused every day on going to the gym, working out, getting fit, feeling strong, lifting weights. That is what we're talking about here, listeners. We're talking about how do you achieve an amazing result when you pursue a path. And it's through the creative process, but the creative process is so magical and so amazing, but it requires an enormous amount of focus and passion on one goal. Now, if your goal isn't to have this amazing wealth or this amazing success, then obviously multitasking is fine. Then why not have multiple projects? But if you are wondering why you aren't seeing those amazing results, then there's your answer. This is a really important lesson because I feel like there's a lot of creatives out there, or there's a lot of people out there that have this passion, have this drive, want to achieve some type of success, but they don't. And the reason is because they're not hyper focused on it.
Yes, absolutely.
So my suggestion to our listeners is get real quiet. Go inside and figure it out what it is that you want to achieve. What is it? What is it that you want? And see it to the completion line. Cross that line and you will feel amazing.
For me, from my life, I realized that meditation has been a huge part of my creative process because it helps me tap into the moment, stay in the moment, because we are living in a world that's trying to keep us asleep. We live in a world where fast food is subsidized, where we have mindless content being streamed at us. And so it is so easy to become numb and disengaged and just overwhelmed by all the stimuli that's coming at us and all the issues that are facing the world. There's just so much going on that it's just easy to turn off and just not pay attention. And so that's where I think we are asleep.
There's so many people that, they have an awakening, they find spirituality or they're meditating and then they're like, wait a second, this feels good. Like I do yoga and I'm breathing and I feel amazing. Like I'm waking up.
Yeah, there's a beautiful quote that I just discovered by Adrienne Marie Brown. She is an educator and an author. She was featured on Redefining Feminism on Masterclass. She talked about this idea that our everyday rebellion is occupying our skin, which I think is so beautiful. To occupy your skin and just enjoy life, joy, pleasure, not in a hedonistic way, as she says in the masterclass, but just owning your life. Just go for it. What is it that you really want to do in this life?
Yeah.
Rise up, wake up, and let's do this. Let's create a new reality. And we see new reality being manifested. And we're at a point in history where the old ways of thinking and functioning are crumbling. They're no longer working. The hierarchy, the patriarchy, it's crumbling and it's fighting like mad to stay in power. Like it's desperately trying to stay in power. And so this is our contribution, this podcast. We're adding this to the conversation. We're pushing into the new paradigm.
Yep.
Everyone can contribute in their own way to create a new reality. And so us talking about how we can empower women by helping them tap into their creativity, and not just women, people of minority, of color, who've been discriminated against for a very long time. I think if we empower women and people who've been discriminated against, we can rise to a new level of power and equality. There are a few things that Ingrid and I do on a daily basis that help us tap into our creativity, and we highly recommend that you try this. We meditate every day. It taps you into your intuition. So if you meditate, there's that quiet moment for you to reflect on the things that you want to fill your life with. What meditation does is connects you to your intuition, and it trains you to quietly watch the thoughts that pop up in your mind. And a lot of those thoughts have been programmed into you by society, by the way you were raised, and it's being aware of those thoughts. And so when you meditate, you become aware of these thoughts and you have the freedom to start a new cycle. You can start with just 5 minutes a day, make it a daily habit. There are a lot of wonderful apps out there that guide you.
Yeah.
I love Insight Timer. There's also Calm and Headspace. So I highly recommend you check those out. The other thing that we recommend is doing something fun on a daily basis. This allows you to connect to your inner kid, like dancing or painting or biking, playing sports or singing, anything that brings you joy. And the other thing I wanted to say is that being creative is like anything else. It's a muscle that needs to be worked, a muscle that needs to be built.
Right on.
So yeah, that's what we have to say for today. We hope that you enjoyed our first podcast. We're here for you and your journey as you discover your creativity. That's right.
All right. Well, Ina, I think that was a great first podcast. If you are into us and you want to hear more, check out next week's episode, where we will be talking about tapping into your superpowers.
Yeah, girl.
We want to show you how to tap into your superpowers. So, and also, if you are interested in sponsoring our show, please DM us. We'll give you more info. And finally, check out our website where we'll list the resources we mentioned today in today's show. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And until next time, girl power.
Girl power.
Let's rise up. First, I'd like to mention, yes, listeners, we are both thriving creative women and entrepreneurs. Everything we say on the show are our personal opinions and ideas. We are experts in our own experiences. Yes, if we say something that sparks questions here, or if you want us to expand on anything we discuss here, feel free to reach out or comment in the section below, or direct message us depending on what platform you are on, and we will try to answer when we can.
Welcome to Rise Up
and Fix It, a podcast dedicated to empowering women.
A podcast that empowers women and the marginalized community by helping them tap into their creativity.